Hi guys, good morning. Today I want to talk about Islam, and I want to show how Islam is a hoax, how Islam is a fraud, and has been a religion that plagiarized from other beliefs and other religions in the proximity or even far from religion ancient and older than them. And that is proof that Islam is not from Allah, not from God, and has no divine guidance or divine protection or the Spirit of God with them. Plain and simple forgery, hoax, plagiarization. Now, I'm not accusing the Muslims of today. I'm not generalizing Muslims. I'm not saying that they are bad people, all of them, that they are purposefully lying to people. I believe that there are many good Muslims, that there are many Muslims with good intentions, and I have to say that many Muslims also don't agree and are disgusted by the actions of other people that call themselves Muslims and use Quranic verses to further their violence and bigotry against other believers and other opinions and belief and non-believers alike. But as we all know, the fact is that in the Quran itself there are many verses written that encourages such actions, that encourages such violence, such hatred and hostility towards unbelievers and other religious believers and religion as well. Okay, but today I want to show people that please, before you consider a religion, before you consider Islam, take your time and do your research, make your study. Don't just look for answers coming from Islamic apologists. Don't just look for excuse and explanation coming from Islamic scholars or your imam or your elders in any mosque or Muslim community you're trying to follow. Make independent, unbiased, neutral research on your own. Of course, you have to use the Quran. Of course, you have to use the Hadiths. But consider unbiased, authentic, neutral, unapologetic Islamic historical data or Arab historical data. Okay? And today I want to show you some things in Islam that proves that Islam is not from God, but it is actually man-made, and it actually points to the idea that Muhammad, with maybe some of his cohorts or followers, band together to create and invent Islam, but surely not from a divine, all-powerful and loving being. For these are the facts and evidence of why I say come out from Islam, and Islam is not from God. Okay? There was a video I made previously where I show how even Islam accept the false Messiah, which the Christian are worshipping and claiming and advertising as the Messiah being awaited by the Jews. And that mistake alone proved that Islam is being disqualified as the religion and faith of Allah, of God, but man-made. Okay, where we know for certain by studies proven from the ancient testament, knowing the many verses, prophetic verses talking about the Messiah. Never in those verses were the Messiah to be born from a virgin. Never in those prophecies was the Messiah to be born as an incarnate process, like God coming down and incarnated in Mary and being born as Jesus. This is nowhere to be found in the prophecy of the Jewish people of Judaism. Nowhere is it found in the Ancient Testament in the Bible. Okay? And in fact, when you read the stories of Jesus in the New Testament, it disqualifies Jesus as the Messiah, the true Messiah being awaited by the Jews. And the fact that they could not remove that the Jews did not accept Jesus is one of the hints and evidence and proof that Jesus was not the Messiah. Okay? In fact, the early New Testament writers, scribes and scholars, they twisted the Ancient Testament and pushed Jesus into the Ancient Testament. They created prophecy from psalms, from songs, where it's not prophecy. And they push Jesus into those phrases, into those verses, into those chapters, when Jesus cannot be fitted into those chapters. When you know those chapters and verses, what they are talking about, you know for sure that they ain't talking about the New Testament Jesus, the child that was to be born from a virgin. And nowhere in the Ancient Testament does it speak or say that the Messiah will be born from a virgin and disqualify Jesus. Okay? And in the New Testament, as I was saying, it is clear that Jesus was not the descendant of King David. For in Ancient Testament, the Messiah was to be the descendant of King David, meaning that he will be born out of sexual intercourse between a male and a female, and the male being the descendant of King David. Many apologetics comes and give excuse for this, but it is very hypocritical. For everywhere, from the Ancient Testament right down into the New Testament, nowhere have any of the disciples or Jesus or any of the characters there or any of the verses there give the idea and hint that the male patriarchy, the male bloodline descendant descendant and genealogies will be stopped being traced by its male lineage, but it will include woman lineage as well inside. This is very dishonest. This is very cunning and crafty. Nowhere in the Bible does it give this idea, this hint, but it is purely a patriarchal religion, a male religion, and it's right there in the pages of the Bible. Male genealogies, descendant, all of them are being traced and recorded in the male descendant. Okay, so putting Mary as a descendant of King David into that picture does not do justice to the Bible, Christianity, or even God. Okay, so let's be honest. There's nowhere in the Bible, where in the Ancient Testament, where the prophesied coming Messiah would be born of a virgin. Okay, and miraculous birth as well. It is clear that the Messiah will be born out of sexual intercourse, being born as a baby, being born with a male father and a mother, and a father being the descendant of King David. Okay, but it is clear in the New Testament that Joseph did not have sex with Mary. There was no sexual interaction between them before the birth of Jesus. Indeed, Mary was a virgin, as told and written in the New Testament. Okay, I'm not naming verses, but I assume that you already know the story in a nutshell. But if you want to do in-depth study like I did, you can go and do it for yourself, and you will find this treasure, this truth, this pertinent hint that leads one to say that Christianity is a fraud, and Jesus Christ as the Messiah is a hoax. And Islam, by recognizing and accepting Jesus as the Messiah being awaited by the Jews, even though they don't recognize him as the Son of God or God in the flesh and all this Trinity crap, it still undermines and destroys Islam. For Allah himself revealed the Quran, and in the Quran Jesus Christ is accepted as the Messiah that was to come. Okay? To preach to the people as a prophet, to deliver the people. Okay? But indeed, as we know now, as we can see, as we have seen, Jesus is not the awaited Messiah. So Islam, by accepting the false Messiah being advertised, being pushed in the Ancient Testament by the early Christians and scribes and scholars that wrote these verses, these passages, these manuscripts, they are totally wrong. So, does Allah make mistake? Isn't Allah all-knowing? Isn't He perfect? How come Allah did not see that coming? So, right there, it's one nail in your coffin, Muslims. One nail in Islam. For Islam brag, if we can find one mistake, one error in their claims, in their Bible, in their religion, and that is proof that they are not from God and not guided by Allah. And this can be thrown in the dustbin. But that is one of the biggest nail in the coffin of Islam. Please, I'm not doing this because I am happy or I want to bring you down. I'm doing this because I want you to know and to think and to analyze your belief and the claims of your religion for yourself, and think about it logically. Think about it. Use reason. Go in history. Read the hadiths. Read the Quran for yourself, but don't read it in the lens of a believing Muslim. Read it in the lens of someone that doesn't know. You are considering and you want to know the truth for you to make a better decision. Because I cannot take away your right of belief, but I can encourage you to please use logic, use reason, and to question everything, even Allah and your belief. Okay, so that's one point. The second point is the story of Allah splitting the moon in two. But this is only written in their book, and it can never be proven. There is no outside historical, empirical evidence that prove that the moon was ever being splitted in two. Maybe they will say that it was a miracle. It was split in two and then it came back again. There is no physical evidence leaving behind these miracle events that happen. But this claim of miracle is claimed to happen in the 14th century. Okay, in the time when Islam was just beginning, when Muhammad was going everywhere and reciting verses of the Quran, supposedly coming from Allah, being revealed to him through Angel Gabriel. Okay, but there's no evidence to believe that such thing ever happened. Come on, people. These beliefs are only beliefs. They are only stories. If something is to be considered truth, there must be an evidence and way to prove it. And there's no historical record of outside Islamic sources that ever talks or record of such an event of the moon being split in two. At least people everywhere will have seen it. Okay? And a moon being split in two, it is scientifically proven, would have caused many global geographical phenomena, events, and disasters. But none of this has ever been recorded in history to have happened. Okay? It is just found in that book. It is a story. Just like many story is found in the Bible and in the Ancient Testament. And there is no way to prove them as true. Okay? And it is very illogical, unreasonable, unscientific, unnatural, and unrealistic. So right there, this is a story, people. Okay? There is no way that any of you Muslims living in this 21st century can know or prove that these things ever happen. You are only taking it on the premise of faith and by faith alone. But as I have said before, Faith does not lead to truth. Something that you have faith in could be true, but for it to be considered true, it has to be proven and it has to be validated. Everyone can see, everyone can understand, it can be proven to everyone. It can be validated by everyone. But none of these things has ever occurred or happened. And that puts the belief in Islam into the fictional character. Okay? And the fact that Islam and Muhammad, okay, that the many practice that they practice is pagan, comes from paganism. Okay, the circumambulation of the Kaaba, the kissing of the black stone, the pilgrimage from the two mountain, and they find stories from the ancient testament to bring and put into this story and make it seems original and authentic. But there's no proof that any of the ancient testament prophet did these kinds of pilgrimage and practice. There's no mention of Islam anywhere in recorded history until the 1400 years ago, when Islam was started to formulate itself and coming into existence. There is no mention of these practices by Jews that was before Islam. Okay, so this is very dishonest. How can Allah insert a practice into his supposedly perfect religion when this practice has been practiced by pagan before Islam? Okay, and that is strong indication that this is not from Allah, but it is a plagiarization and adoption of pagan practice injected into Islam. Okay, it is clear that the ancient Arabs, they worshipped many idols, and there was more than one Kaaba. Okay, and in this Kaaba were many idols where many people from different cultures come, and when they come to this place, it is a place where all their swords and all wars and all fighting is put aside. They come to this place and consider it as a holy place, and they worship their gods there. And inside this Kaaba there were many pagan idols. If you can do your research, you will find for yourself. This is true, this is fact. But many times we point this out to Muslims. They argue and they come with so many kinds of excuse. They beat around the bush, they change the topic, they go to other topic. They don't keep talking on the same topic and point that we presented. And in the end, we've talked and debated about a lot of things and lost energy. And the thing presented itself, the point presented itself is not talked about, is just left alone. Okay, and I think this is a tactic by Muslims to ignore and to avoid this conversation, because deep in their psyche they know there's something wrong, fishy there. But because they are true Islam fervent believer and they have faith in Allah, they will not turn their back from Allah. They will not turn away from their belief. They will cling to Allah. They will follow Allah. People, this is not reasonable. It's as if you have a wife and people are telling you this wife is cheating on you, and you just somehow for one reason or another ignore this advice and this information. Even these people come with evidence and show you. You ignore it. You turn a blind eye. You harden your heart. You close your mind. You shut down reasoning, so that you can keep on believing that this lady, this woman, your wife, really loves you and believes in you and are sincere with you. But in reality, the facts, evidence, and strong indication that the person is cheating on you is right there in front of your face. People, this is dishonest. We will not get anywhere. If we want to know the truth, we have to accept facts and evidence when presented to us. Ignoring them does not make them any less true. Okay? So, these things I pointed out of paganism in Islam is true. And the fact that paganism is in Islam is a proof that Islam is not from Allah. And there is no guidance of the Spirit of Allah or His angel in Islam. For Allah, according to them, Allah is not a pagan god, and Islam is not paganism. Yet we find paganism in Islam. Okay? So until now, it looks like Muhammad, like I said before, heard of these stories, did not consider it, did not analyze it, and with the idea of bringing Islam and creating this new religion, he thought that these things was okay to be adopted, to be plagiarized, and transformed into a new set of belief and practice in his new religion. But that's not true. It is clear that he has plagiarized. He has adopted this practice, beliefs, and stories from other religions older than Islam. Okay? So, and the next thing we want to talk about is the very cunning, dishonest action and practice of plagiarism again, where Muhammad or whoever was with him decided to take where Muhammad takes the story of Ishmael, okay, Ishmael and his brother, okay, and it twists the story where God used Jacob to bring his descendant from written in the ancient testament, to bring his descendant and blessing Jacob, okay, and Ishmael was not blessed by God in the Torah, in the first revelations of God, which Islam accepts as the book of God, coming from God, but somehow they say these books are corrupted and has been tampered with. Okay, yet these books come from Allah, and Allah is most capable of protecting his books, most capable of protecting his words and message, because eventually that's what Islam claims, right? Islam claims that the Quran, the message of Islam, comes from Allah through the angel of Gabriel, recited by Muhammad, written by his followers. But then again, behind that, there's another issue, because we know that the Quran took a long time before being compiled, and there were many different kind of recitations, and some of them were even burned, and few were chosen not according to Allah, not according to Muhammad, but according to caliphates and people very long after the death of Muhammad. Okay, and there were many recitations and languages, different languages, because Arabs had many dialects in those times existing. Okay, but the fact that Muhammad took this story is clear. The fact that he plagiarized this story in order to start Islam. But this is a very serious thing. Many people are not considering. Which was before, Islam or Judaism? Many will say Islam has ever existed, but as I said before, there is no proof and fact to that. In fact, every proof and evidence that we have leads to Islam coming into existence 1400 to 1500 years ago. Okay, people? So, it is clear that in order for Muhammad to start Islam, because he wanted to unite the Jews and the Christian and all people together under Islam, which he failed miserably, and this is recorded in many hadiths and many historical documents. Yet it is dishonest, it is wrong, it is thievery, it is plagiarism to take that story and twist it and write it anew so that Islam can come from Ismail, and Ismail is the blessed descendant. But this is a lie. Even though I don't believe in this story in the Ancient Testament about Jacob and Ishmael, but Judaism was first. Thousands and thousands and thousands, thousands of years at least before Islam. And the story was Jacob was blessed, and the generations of God will come out of Jacob, not Ishmael. So Islam is guilty right there, and this is a big mistake, and this is proof that Islam is a lie, is a plagiarized religion, and is a hoax. Okay, right there. I wonder how Muslims will excuse this. Probably they will just say, well, the Ancient Testament is corrupted. This is not how it happened. This is how it happened. But this is clear a gamble. There's no way now to prove whether the story of God blessing the descendant through Ismail or blessing the descendants through Jacob is the right one. How are we living in the 21st century going to be able to prove this? Okay, but it's clear, as I said before, this claim, this event written in the Ancient Testament, this story about Ishmael and Jacob, was written first before Islam. So it is most probable, and it leads one to say that Islam took this story and changed it and package it as new. So Islam, right there, this is a big dilemma for you. This is a question. This is a point that I've presented and would like you to explain it to me. And show me, how is this not plagiarism? How does this not prove that Islam is a fraud, a hoax, does not come from God? Just like Christianity, Islam is a hoax. Islam is full of lies, full of contradiction, and it has plagiarized from religion before them. That is clear. I'm a simple layman. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a historian. I'm not an archaeologist. I am not a scholar. But it is evident, just with some simple research. People, Google is there. Internet is there, library is there. Do your research and you will find out for yourself. You will know the truth and the truth will set you free. Okay? So, let's go further. The story in Islam where, the stories where Islam talk about the many miracles, okay? Many miracles and many stories, not story, many stories where they claim that this story is an event of miracles in the Quran, prove that Allah exists, okay? But that is outright logically wrong, because no one can claim something to be true without evidence, as I said before. Okay, so what evidence does Muslims has for these stories? In fact, almost all religions of the earth have many stories written in their sacred and holy books. Christian has theirs, Hindus have theirs, the people living in the jungle, the Amazon, the Aztec, they all have theirs. The Mayan has theirs. Zoroastrian have theirs. Freemasons have theirs. Mormonism have theirs, written in their books, and all of them are the excuse for believing their own particular God. Like Islam is the many miracles written in the Quran, in their books. But just like these other religions, claiming that their God is true because the many miracles written in their books does not make their beliefs and their God true and real, this same logic is applied to Islam. And therefore, the many miracles, my friends, brothers and sisters, in Islam written, it doesn't prove that Allah exists. It doesn't prove that Islam is the truth and genuine. It doesn't prove that Islam hold the truth. It doesn't prove that these stories and events ever took place. All we can prove is some names, some people, some locations, and some events. But the stories in themselves and the events, the horrendous events of miracles and so that Allah performed, the Muhammad performed, even the ants talking, all these things are stories as found in other religion, and in themselves cannot be counted as evidence, and in themselves they are not evidence, and there is no evidence that it ever took place. And when something that is not honest, these all miracles that God does, He does it in His book, written, happened in the past. But somehow today, in reality, Allah cannot do anything. Allah is powerless. Allah is impotent. Allah is powerless and impotent against coronavirus. The mosque is closed. Mecca is closed. No pilgrimage like before in the past just because of coronavirus. Okay, if Allah is all powerful, Allah is loving, Allah is merciful, why can't He protect His people, at least His people, those faithful and following Him, the good Muslim, the Islam people? But we have seen in reality that Islam is subjected to death. Islam is subjected to sickness. Muslim is subject to poverty. They are subject to pain, to all the horrors of reality of this world, like everybody else, like unbelievers and atheists like me as well. There is no special treatment for them. There is no evidence of a divine power within them. No such thing. Okay, in fact, they themselves have to wear the mask, they have to protect themselves, keep distance, follow all the instructions of WHO regarding the regulation and prevention of COVID-19. Even in Seychelles, where I live, all the religions, they are subject to these laws to protect their believers and followers. Okay, even though they will argue and some of them will not listen, and still go to their mosque or churches, this virus will spread. People will die. And it is occurring, my friends. It is happening. This is proof in your faces that your religion, your God, your beliefs and claim and your prayers does not work. People are praying all over the world to different kind of deities to save them from war, from famine, from crisis, from hunger, from COVID-19, from AIDS, from cancer. Not one single little bit of miracles that can be proven and qualified as miracle ever happened in the name of any God that exists and being prayed to and worshipped by other believers. Okay? It doesn't really exist in reality. It exists in their mind, in their beliefs. Okay? So, right there, I have proven, my friends, in so many little words, how Islam is not the religion of Allah, is not from Allah, and has not been protected and guided by Allah. I hope you come out from Islam and you see Islam for what it truly is, a false, fictional belief that has no evidence and basis in reality at all. A religion made for men, by men, and to control women, and that wants to conquer the world. Okay? So consider these things before considering Islam. Do your research, analyze, use your mind, and come out of superstition and blind faith. Thank you so much.